Hey, what is up, guys, gals, Super Saiyans, people of all ages, whoever is tuning in to watch Chaos Reviews? I'm here with another review of a pretty cool show called The Leftovers. It's an HBO series that was recommended to me by a friend at work, and I think a lot of the shows that are on HBO are pretty cool. So it really grabbed my attention when he told me the plot line. So The Leftovers basically is about, in a nutshell, and there might be a lot of spoilers in this if you haven't finished the series. Um, Basically, the plot line is one day on October 14th, 3% of the population disappears. Um, just fix the camera a little bit here. So, they just vanish. Me and you were talking at the laundromat, saying, like, hey, what are you doing later? Going to the bar, a couple friends. And I just poof right in front of you. I just disappear. So, 3% just vanish. Like, doesn't matter what they're doing. You're driving down the road, boom, you're gone. Or Kevin was having sex with a random person and she disappeared, kind of thing. Kevin's one of the main characters. He's a sheriff in a small town where the show takes place following this town. Uh, it's called Mapleton in New York. So the show follows this town and just the whole synopsis, like the whole element of the show is human interaction after like a disaster or a natural supernatural phenomenon. Um, Showing how people would react and act like in the midst of a massive um, thing like this, right? So it's kind of like The Walking Dead or a zombie apocalypse, some kind of apocalyptic movie, but without the zombies or whatever. So people start to lose their marbles or they go a little crazy, and the the human race kind of fragmentizes. So cults start popping up all over the place, and one of them is called the Guilty Revenant, the GNR, and there's a whole bunch of them. They just start popping up, and people start looking for reasons why people departed, is what they call the people who disappeared. The first season is full of just ups and downs with emotions. Just seeing like how can some of these people still go on of what they've experienced and stuff like that. Showing how the government would react, kind of thing. This insurance company kind of comes out and they would give you a kind of like a life insurance payout for people who disappeared if they think the person actually disappeared. They'll like survey you about it. Um, some people think they can heal you by like hugging you, or maybe they can just stuff like that. And some people just change so much. So it's just really about the human element of like the whole disaster and just like how crazy some things get, which is really cool. So and just like how heartless or savage some people can be, kind of thing. With the end of season one, when the GNR basically gets these dummies made of each person who disappeared on October 14th, and they're like so lifelike. They have like almost looks like flesh and stuff like that, and they make them to look exactly like each person. They have files and pictures about like each person who disappeared, and they place them in each person's house, the exact way that they were when they disappeared. Like Nora, Kevin's girlfriend, she was yelling at her kids when her kids disappeared. She lost her whole family, her husband and her two kids. Her kids spilt a glass of orange juice on her iPhone when work was calling, so she was a little frustrated and was kind of yelling at them a little bit in the kitchen with her back to them, and all of a sudden it just went quiet, and she turned around and they were gone. So the GNR placed two of them at the table, which looked incredibly like them, wearing the same clothes, and her husband, and they were sitting there. So when she comes downstairs after waking up on October 15th, she just collapses and just like everything she thought she finally was picking up the pieces falls apart again in front of her. And this goes for the whole town, and they just lose their shit and just kind of like go ape shit on the GNR, burning down their house, beating the crap out of them. It's just like a riot in the town. So that's crazy. Season 2, really crazy. Kevin has had these problems of like a mental breakdown or something. He's been like sleepwalking throughout season 1 and 2, and it hasn't explained too much about it. But his dad was put in a mental institution, and he used to be the chief of police for the town until this happened. And then he took over. But the same kind of things looked like they were happening, kind of thing. So Kevin didn't know if he was going crazy or what the issue was. So he would just wake up and be in the middle of the woods, like naked or something, and something crazy happened, or he kidnapped the head of the GNR and had her in the middle of the woods in one episode in season 1, and she killed herself right in front of him in the end. Um, Season 2, it just continues with it getting worse. Apparently, I thought it was going to get better. When they're in Jardin, Texas, a town they call Miracle, in which I don't think it was even a town to begin with. It was like a tourist attraction of something, a park, a national park or something. But nobody disappeared there on that day, so that's why Nora and them went there. They paid $3 million for a house to move in there, just because the fact they thought they were going to be safe. Because everybody's still worried that it'll happen again. They finally have rebuilt themselves. Nora's with Kevin. She's moved on. They adopted a kid and stuff like that. And she's worried about losing everything again, which you start to get attached to these characters. You feel some emotion. So, yeah, Kevin, when you think he's getting better, or should be getting better, wakes up, pulling himself out of the water, which apparently he tried to kill himself in one of these, um, we'll call them sleepwalking incidents, because it really has explained why he does this. It's like a split personality almost takes over, because he does stuff, talks to people, and doesn't remember it. And he dies 2 or 3 times in the series, and it's really got you wondering, is Kevin a cat? Does he have 9 lives? Because he's expended at least 2 of them, and I feel like it's been 3 for some reason, but one for sure in the water, and then he gets another guy to poison him to kill himself to try and battle his demons. And both times he goes to this other side of this hotel, and that like adds another element to this series as well. Like there's another side and all this stuff, and Kevin's been there multiple times, and he uses like this cheat card. He knows how to get out of it and get back into the other. Yeah, he does die 3 times because he gets shot too. Um, right near the end of season 2. And it's just this show had me coming back so much, binge watching it. I watched this whole series in like a little over a week, I think, like 3 to 4 episodes a night, sometimes 2, but it was really good. I do, I do recommend it. It's a good series. I know I jumped a lot all over the place because it's hard to review a whole 2 seasons all at once because you want to talk about so much. But next time I pick up a series like this, I'll have to try and review it every episode or a couple episodes at least. But it was hard because I just binge watched this so hard because I wanted to know why everybody disappeared. And it hasn't explained it yet. And I'm going to tell you what my one gripe might be with the series, or my fear with the series is. And that is, I hope they don't pull a Lost on me and just some really weird explanation at the end, just kind of like, that's it. They were, all dead or something like that. I hope it's like a really interesting explanation why everybody disappeared, or maybe they're not even going to explain it because the whole idea of the show is about like the whole human interaction after the fact kind of thing. Maybe the departure is the smaller picture of it all, um, and the people are the bigger picture, which I'm okay with too, I guess. But I'm just always interested to know exactly why everybody disappeared. And the other thing that keeps getting me coming back to is a lot of the questions they create every episode, the things with the dogs. How does Kevin keep coming back? The earthquakes. There's a lot of unanswered questions, but there's going to be one more season. It was renewed for a third and final season from what I've read. So we'll probably get a lot of explanations then. The writers have been pretty good from what I see. The acting is awesome. It's a good season, good series, I should say, and I recommend it. It's 10 episodes a season, so it's not too much of a commitment, which is nice as well. You can power through it really quick. And apparently, it's based off a book, which I just learned, and I did not know that. So it makes me almost want to read the book. But I assume it must explain some of the, at least some of the questions in the book and stuff like that. So, uh, the last season, I assume, will be 10 episodes again. That's that's not a lot of time, really, but let's see what they can do. I'm excited, and I think I'm gonna start watching the Westworld because I hear good things about that too. So I'm gonna start putting up some reviews for that, and let's let's see how that's gonna be. So, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd like some feedback down below, and if you hated it, let me know. If you liked it, let me know. Improvements. I know, like I said, this was all over the place, but it's just reviewing 20 episodes in one video is just kind of hard to do. But let me know. Drop me a like, a subscribe if you want to see some more content. I'll have some movie reviews, Walking Dead comic reviews, and stuff like that coming out in the future. I'll see you then. Chaos out.